for our panel. Doug Holtz-Eakin is here, former CBO director, and Robert Wolf is former economic advisor to Obama. Welcome to both of you. Robert, what was inflation when Biden took office?
I
I'll
think
tell
it was
you if you don't know.
9-10%.
No. Come on.
But
Come
more
on,
importantly,
Robert. All right.
it's 3% now, so it's down
I
by
set you up.
two-thirds.
I apologize. I put you on the spot there. It was 1.4%, and that is fact. So, Doug Holtz-Eakin, these are the claims that the president has been making, that the Washington Post is giving four Pinocchios. Kind of sounds like what Robert just said. Listen.
We have dramatically reduced inflation from 9% down to close to 3%. We're in a situation where we're better situated than we were when we took office. It was 9% when I came to office. 9%. But look, people have a right to be concerned. I think inflation has gone slightly up. It was at 9% when I came in, and it's now down around 3%.
All right, so apparently we're having a hard time with Robert's IFB. It was 1.4%, and I did put him on the spot there. But these are the claims, Douglas, that the current president is making that are just patently false. So what happens on a debate stage if he stands by those numbers that just never happened?
Well, first, let's go to an alternative universe where he's actually allowed to finish the sentence, and he allows Mr. Trump to finish the sentence, and they have a debate on economics. I think for a general audience, I think Mr. Trump has a big advantage on that because he talks business. People think that's the same as economics. I think it gives him an edge. Now, in reality, will they finish each other's sentences, yell at each other, step all over each other? That's what it was like last time. I don't think we learned very much in those debates.
Okay, so Robert, per the Washington Post fact check on those claims that inflation was 9% when Biden took office, the correction was that the month of his inauguration, it was 1.4%. So the Washington Post gave him four Pinocchios that Biden's false claim that inflation was 9% when he took office is just not correct. So let's just deal with what we have seen in this presidency, and I'll ask you how this plays out on a debate stage with Donald Trump, who can look back at his record on the economy. Under Biden, inflation has gone up 19.3%. Okay, we've had our brain room fact check this. Under Biden, up 19%. Under Trump, it was up 5.1%. So is this a clear sign that Donald Trump can beat Joe Biden on a debate stage and rest on his record?
So, Sandra, I apologize. I missed the beginning. We had some connection problems here, what Douglas said. I'm sure they were smart. He's a sharp guy. I can't wait for this debate to happen. And let's recall, President Trump had 4 years in office, not 3. So if you look at 4 years of facts, GDP was better, deficits were lower, jobs are higher, unemployment's lower, wages is up, manufacturing's up, infrastructure was passed, CHIPS Act was passed. We actually are going to put a manufacturing in Wisconsin with Microsoft. We're going to put a chip factory in Arizona. No question, inflation has been hurtful to Americans, and I think President Biden said that today, that, although it's down 60%, we have to do more. So I think it's a real debate. I'd rather be on the side of Biden, and I'm sure Douglas would rather be on the side of Trump, but that's a debate worth having.
Okay, so let me dig into this further, because we can look at the polling and where people feel this economy is for them and their financial situation or their family in this moment. Real Clear Politics average on Biden's job approval rating on the economy is at a disapproval rate of nearly 60%. Disapproval rate on the inflation is at 64%, Douglas. This is tough to hide from. On Fox News polling on being better off financially than you were 4 years ago, those who believe they're worse off, 52%. So how do you think this plays out, Douglas?
Well, this has got to be very troubling for the Biden camp, because it is about this time that people make up their mind about what they think of the economic environment. all of the data shows that people make up their minds about 6 months out and they don't change it. So we're in the period where voters are deciding which one would be better on the economy. And I'd say the record is decidedly stacked against the president. He's got a bad record on inflation, a lot of disapproval on his handling of it. His accomplishments that he likes to tout all amount to convincing Congress to spend money. That's not the biggest lift in history. So I think he's got a tough road ahead on the economic debate.
To your point, Robert, if they looked at just wages on its own, the president could tout that wages are up, but when you account for inflation, we know that real wage growth is non-existent. Real wages have actually dropped. In inflation, he likes to tout that inflation has come down, but it's come down from the highs under his presidency. That's worth pointing out. It seems that this administration has sort of been running from the use of the word Bidenomics lately. So how does he construct his message on that stage? What would you advise him to do?
Well, yeah, I just want to reply quickly to Douglas and the polls you had, because when President Trump left office, 2/3 of the country thought the economy was in bad shape. 70% disapproved of his handling as a president. So even worse than where Biden is today. So we know polls go all over the place and it's based on timing. Listen, I would absolutely talk about why they need to get inflation down and the things they're doing to try to get that to happen. That's why it's down by 2/3. I would talk about certainly wages, and wages have outperformed inflation,
Robert?
if I can just finish, for 14 straight months.
Okay, real quick, Doug.
So I ask this genuinely, not to pick a fight, but like, what exactly has the White House, the president, that staff done to bring down inflation?
It's a good question.
I'm sorry, say it again.
He asked,
What
Robert,
exactly
he
has
asked,
the
what is
president
the
and his
White
staff
House
done?
Yeah.
Well, time out, Doug. You know what happened in a post-COVID world with supply chains, with the service sector dramatically going up, with wages and things like hospitality and leisure up 25%. I mean, in a service sector and economy like we had, versus when we had durable goods inflation during COVID, that actually gets passed on to the consumer. And geopolitically, when we're in a war in the Middle East.
I got to leave it there. He was just simply asking.
Let's have that debate.
He was just simply asking what has the administration done to bring down prices. Great debate. Appreciate it, gentlemen. Thank you very much.